Information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We just talked to Dr. Doug Rockey, physicist, radiation expert, but he's at the VA getting treatments. We're going to see if we can get him on. Nuclear physicist Dr. Bob Bowman will be joining us in 30 minutes. Pharmacist Ben Fuchs is going to pop in for about 5 minutes the next segment because they've sold out everywhere of the potassium iodine government-approved pills that are over-the-counter that block the thyroid from absorbing the radioactive iodine. And we were just talking to Michael in California, and he was talking about how they sold out at stores. He went to a clinic and tried to get a prescription, and they said, well, the government's told us don't give these as prescriptions. Write that report up, Michael, get it to us, because we want to start confirming these things and put an article out on it to dovetail with Paul Watson's article, Panic Buying Stocks of Potassium Iodine Exhausted in the U.S. But I want to go to Kirby, Derek, Joe, everybody that's holding here in a moment. Quickly, what was your other question, Michael, and I got to jump? He had to drop off. Okay, I thought he wanted to hold over. Derek in Missouri. Derek, you're on the air.
Hello, Alex. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, some of them personal to me because I have loved ones, or I have people that I know in Japan right now. Well, first of all, I want to talk about the Japanese economy, and the Japanese stock markets went from 14% to 9.5%, and also it was basically $620 billion off the market. I wanted to know from your perspective how exactly that was going to affect, how that would affect American markets here in a short period of time.
Well, last time I checked, let's pull up the stock market right now live on air. The U.S. stock market was down quite a few points. The Tokyo exchanges closed a few hours ago, down 11%, or one of the biggest losses in recent memory. Asian shares overall tumbled today as Tokyo stock benchmark plunged 11% on panic selling amid worries that a possible nuclear catastrophe in Japan would further complicate and endanger the nation's recovery from its worst earthquake on record. The Nikkei stock average finished 11% lower to 8,605.15 after sliding more than 14 points earlier in the day. Pressure by news of explosions at Tokyo Electric Company's Fukushima nuclear power plant number 2 and 4 reactors on top of previous blasts at number 1 and number 3. So 4 of them have blown up of the 6, including one that was turned off, showing you that means nothing. Coming on top of the 6.2 fall Monday, the performance in the Nikkei's worst since October 16, 2008, a drop of 11.4 in the aftermath of the global financial crisis. So does that answer your question? The U.S. Dow is down 197 points, 0.42. NASDAQ down 45.33. S&P 500 down 20.60. So there's your answer, sir.
Those are big numbers to be dropped off from the American markets. Is that correct?
Well, they can always pump them back up with fiat currency, but it only devalues the dollar as the global currency more. But obviously, when it rains, it pours. This is what happens in history. And the globalists have wanted to liquefy the political system so that they can then change it and then refreeze it. That's a term they use. And it's a pretty amazing time to be alive right now, Derek.
I have an ex-wife who used to live in Toyocho in the Tokyo city. I was married over in Tokyo, served over there in the Navy. I'm actually a third-time, probably fourth-time caller. But I haven't been able to get a hold of her. And as much resentment as we have back and forth towards one another, we still share a bond, and I feel love for her and have prayers for the Japanese people.
Well, what's her first name?
Hiroko Asada.
Well, folks, pray for her and everybody else. Lift them up in prayer and ask God for divine intervention. George Washington prayed for it and certainly got it. And there are no atheists in foxholes. Thank you for the call, Derek. John, Joe, Mark, others, your call straight ahead. I'd like to hear from nuclear engineers, physicists, you name it. We'll be right back with Ben Fuchs briefly, then your calls. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used pure soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Alex has told you that the Mideast uprisings over food prices and shortages caused by fuel costs are spreading worldwide. We're seeing the impact right here in the United States. Ethanol that was supposed to reduce petroleum use and fuel prices hit a 30-month high in February, and pump prices are expected to reach $5 a gallon. Because of shipping costs, food is being priced out of the reach of millions of Americans with an expected 35% jump in the next 60 days. Move quickly while you can still afford it, and eFoods Direct will pay your shipping costs for you. For the best tasting long-term storable food, you pay nothing for shipping and can put every dollar into food at today's prices. eFoods Direct, food so delicious you can serve it tonight or save it for the future. Take advantage of free shipping by calling 800-409-5633. On the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, 800-409-5633, or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Continue with your phone calls and continue to track the unfolding disaster in Japan. But the Associated Press and others are reporting that radioactive winds are going into Tokyo. Headline, radiation levels soar after Japan nuke plant fire. Associated Press, 4 of the 6 reactors, including one that had been successfully turned off, have blown up. And Reuters, AP are also reporting that they believe that some of the containment systems, basically the steel box that the reactors are in, may have been breached. Let's hope that that's not the case, because you think what's outside the containment vessel's bad, the water they pump through that's got all those different radioactive isotopes and radioactive iodine, strontium, cesium. That, so far, is what's made the U.S. fleet race away from the island because it was blowing out to sea. Now the winds have changed to the south, and is sending it into Tokyo, but there are no confirmed reports of uranium and plutonium. And if that gets out or has gotten out, it is a off-the-chart crisis. Obviously, you don't need to be told that to understand that. One particle of that refined plutonium and uranium, you are dead meat if it gets into your lungs. Or if you, get it on your hand and then wipe your mouth and it goes into your stomach, it is going to devastate those people. Let's hope and pray that's not the case. Now, I'm going to go to John, Joe, John, Mark, Rusty here in a moment. I had Dr. Bob Bowman joining us in about 25 minutes or so. But I wanted to just briefly bring up degreed pharmacist Ben Fuchs, who's a Genesis talk show host, briefly, because Ben, I know it varies, but some of the potassium iodine drops that I've bought for thyroid health say take 1 drop a day. Some say 2, some say 3. I guess it depends on how strong the tincture is. You're a pharmacist, you can explain it. Versus the Iosat potassium iodate tablets, 130 milligram, indication thyroid blocking and a radiation emergency only. That is sold out all over Europe, all over Japan, all over China, confirmed. All over the world it's selling out. And now we are getting reports flooding in that FEMA, Homeland Security, CDC is telling clinics to not give it to people if they request it as a prescription, even though it's over the counter. So a lot of things happening there. But my only question for you is this. Some people have gone in to health food stores or grocery stores. They've been told by the people in the vitamin aisle and people at clinics that, oh, only the pills will help you. They're 130 to 150 milligrams, depending on the brand, and we've confirmed that. And they're claiming that these iodine drops are much weaker and that the recommended dose wouldn't help you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a pharmacist. And obviously you can't give general medical advice, but me individually, I'm not taking the potassium iodine pills that I have. They're expired, by the way, but I'm told that they last a lot longer than what the expiration says at this time. I'm taking the drops for myself, my wife, and my children at the recommended dose. Is that what I should be doing? And is it true that these drops aren't going to help because they're too weak? Or the dulse, kelp, alfalfa-based pills, we also have those. Is it true what we're hearing?
No, by far and away, the best way to get your iodine is in drops. SSKI or potassium iodide drops, it's the way to go. And 130 milligrams is a great place to be. Depending on, and you're absolutely correct, depending on the brand, you're going to get different dosages per drop, but you want to look, read the label, you want...
Okay, so how much in an average bottle? In fact, we got a bunch of bottles. We have Tim bring his in so I can read off the bottle. I mean, on average...
It depends on they're all going to be different. It depends on the brand, but it should say on there how much iodine is in, how much you're getting per drop, and you're absolutely correct. You're looking for 130 milligrams. But anybody who's telling you that the drops are in any way weaker or less bioavailable or not as good as the pills doesn't know what they're talking about. The drops are the way to go. Absolutely. Now, the pills are also okay, but if you have an option, you want to go with the drops. But, Alex, what I really want people to understand is that it's not just iodine that you want to be using. You want to be making sure that your body's radiation and heavy metal detoxification systems are all kicking in. Your body has an enzyme system called the glutathione system, which is specifically designed to protect itself, to protect the body from substances like radiation and heavy metals, and you want to make sure that your glutathione system is kicking in big time, and there's nutritional supplements that will do that.
That way your body sheds it instead of...
protects itself.
Okay, so...
itself. And so you're looking at the selenium, which is very important. Something called N-acetylcysteine is very important. There's an amino acid called glutamine, which is very important, and whey protein is a good source of a lot of these nutrients. Sea vegetables are very important. Bladderwrack and kelp. Everybody knows about kelp, but there's all sea vegetables are very important. In fact, I'd be using sea vegetables as long as you make sure that you want to make sure that they're from a good source, but I'd be eating sea vegetables on a daily basis. It's one of the best ways to protect yourself from radiation. There's also grapeseed extract, green tea. Drink a lot of green tea. Spend all day drinking green tea. If I was going to protect myself from any of these substances, I'd be doing a lot of green tea.
And by the way, pharmacists...
Vitamin C also. Don't forget about vitamin C. Very important.
Absolutely, because that helps your body defend itself. And I want you to explain that, and then I'm going to let you go, and we'll have you back soon to continue to break this down. For those saying, oh, trust the government, the winds are coming from Japan right across the West Coast, ladies and gentlemen. And on the, number one, at the levels that you're supposed to take it, I'm correct in saying, pharmacists, that it's good.